I want us to dive into our financial reality for 26. Once we've done our vision board and we know our goals and our dreams and our craziest and wildest dreams, to be able to make them become true for ourselves, we need a direction. We need to know where we're going. And most of the time, the financial aspect of things is a very important one. So let's talk about money today. Let's map out our year financially to be able to know where we're going. So there are two distinct categories in the money mapping for 2026. So first of all, you have the expenses that you know about. The expenses, the monthly and yearly expenses that you cannot avoid, the have to expenses. Let's say, for example, your rent, your electricity, all your living expenses. You may also have some visa to pay or some travel to make that you already know about. If you look at the next 12 months, what is it that you know that you will have to do? Where will you have to go? What is that thing that you know that you have to attend to? I want you to list everything. I want you to be completely honest with yourself on your have to expenses, the expenses that you cannot avoid, that will happen. So if you have never done this before, it will always help you to know where you're going every month. If you don't know how much you're spending, it's good to face your own reality, to know how much you're spending every month for your rent, for your your living expenses, what you spend to eat, what you're spending when you go out, what are you spending shopping wise, and what are you spending in a physical way and online. Because sometimes we have a lot of leaks in our financial reality, and we've forgotten that we have a subscription with that thing or that company. And it's very important to bring back awareness into your financial reality. So I invite you to list everything, to maybe go back into your PayPal, or I'm not sure which company you're using for automatic payments. But look at everything, every money that is leaving your account every month automatically, and look at all the payments that you have to make every month. These are your non-negotiable ones. Or you could change them, but what I mean is, like, you need a space to live, you need food, you need, you need to fulfill your needs. So these are the expenses that will happen no matter what. The second category is for our dreams. These expenses are these expenses are the expenses that will happen if we have enough money, if we have time for it, or if we booked early enough. But what I want to explain here is, if you plan in advance, if you are aware of how much everything costs in advance, it gives you a projection, it gives you a goal, it puts a number into a dream, so you know how much you need or what you need to make it happen. If, for example, you tell you, I would love to go ski in Japan next winter, maybe you can look at how much a flight to Japan costs at that time, and how much does it cost to ski in Japan. What do we need? Do we need a visa? Are there any rules that I need to know about? Do I have enough winter clothes? Like, list all the needs to be able to fulfill that dream. and put a price next to every need, if it's something that needs to be purchased, of course. So I want you to go back into your vision board, your dreams, your craziest wildest dreams. I want you to go back into it, list again everything, and explore for each of them. What do you need? What will be the cost to access to these things? How much do they cost? Or what needs to be done and purchased to access that dream? This will help you to really have the full picture. It will help you to see for yourself if it is something that you can do this year or not, or it can be the next year, but at least you are aware. It's not just an illusion, it's not just like a dream. It's not only something that you envision one day. As soon as you start looking into numbers, it becomes more real, because sometimes it's cheaper than we thought it was, or sometimes it's not as difficult as we thought, or sometimes it's actually the contrary. It's more complicated than we thought, and we may need to prepare more or longer. But it's good to know. Once you have that knowledge and that awareness around that vision and that dream, you have the choice to decide if you still want to move forward towards it, or you're able to decide and to list all the actions that you need to go through to be able to access these dreams. As soon as you know what needs to be done, as soon as you can put a name, a word, and actions into a vision and a dream, as soon as you project yourself, it becomes more real. What I'm sharing with you today is really coming from a business and personal experience. I realized that I'm dreaming actually to go to Japan since a few years. I'm also dreaming to go to California during rainy season in Bali here, but it's never happening because I am not preparing it. It's just a thought. And I've realized that if I do not look more seriously into it, and as soon as and I'm not aware of how much it costs and what should I do, and I always look at it last minute and then it becomes so expensive. I've realized that they always stay at the state of a dream, or of maybe next year, and maybe next year, and it's been many years that it's the same. But I've also realized that when I have an expense or something to pay and I have no choice, that money comes to me, or I find that money. So it's not about money, actually. It's about creating spaces for that money to come. Allocating that money somewhere for something. Because if you do not allocate that money for that something, it will be allocated to something else. And that something else is most of the time not something super cool. It's a fine to pay. It's a bill that didn't go through and then you have to pay a few months later, or it's taxes, or it's not something pleasant usually. So you rather find a space to allocate your money to that is more pleasant for yourself. That thought is also coming from a book that I've read and I would highly recommend you. It's called Loves Money and Money Loves You, from Sarah McCrum. So in that book, she's saying that money is an energy. It's an entity or your best friend. Like, it's something that you can connect to. But she's specifically saying that you need to allocate space to welcome money. You need to create spaces. And what I mean by spaces, I mean energetical spaces. I mean that if you have an idea, if you want to do something, let's say I will take one of the examples that are in the book. You want to give money to charity, and in your mind you're saying, please, please send me money so I can help this orphanage, or so I can help an orphanage. But if you're not more specific in your request, the money may go directly to that orphanage. In this book, she's really talking about money as an energy, and as an energy that you can direct to. And if you are not specific into your requests, money may take some shortcuts. Like, for example, if you want money to make a donation to a charity, money may go directly to that charity without going through your own account. Like, why would it go through your account first? So you have to be more specific on what you want. But if you create space in your mind and in your life and make it a thing that you want to go surfing in Bali next year or this year, you need to take a look at the price of the flights. Do I want to join a retreat or not? Or do I go on my own? Am I going to backpack or am I going to sleep in hotels? So if we follow what she's saying in the book, and if we understand, she's basically saying that money needs a direction. It needs a mission, a purpose, and a space to go to. So if you say, I want more, but you're not saying how much, and you're also not saying why. So the money doesn't have a direction. It doesn't have, like, a lot of money for you can mean 1,000 euros or dollars, but a lot of money for someone else can be 1 billion. So we do not have the same, I would say, capacity or vision. And that's why it's very important to be very specific. So if you make that research and you know how much you need for that dream and that dream and that dream, and to purchase that car and to offer the dream travel to your wife, or to buy that ring, to ask your girlfriend to marry you and everything, like, if you don't know how much, you won't receive exactly what you need. So this may sound a little bit delusional if you are very Cartesian and very grounded and very, you believe what you see, you know. But I will share something with you. Like, a month ago, I joined mentoring for myself for this year, actually. So it hasn't started yet. But I invested a lot of money in myself. And that money, I didn't have it. And I was a little bit freaking out, to be very honest. I was like, where will I find that money? Oh my God, I'm going to have to take a lot of contract to be able. I started to think about how. But I had a number, and I had a date, and I had the exact amount that I will have to pay every month, and which month, how much. Like, it's very clear. And within, I think it was 3 weeks' time, I managed to make that money. It's crazy, but it's so real. This is extremely powerful. And it doesn't cost you anything to do it. And it doesn't cost you anything to believe in it. And it's always good to date your finances and to really look at it and be honest and engage with money and not be afraid about, looking at your own expenses. It's very important to connect to it. Because money is not your enemy. Money is just an energy that helps you do things. It helps you access. It's a way to. It's limited only if you want to. As soon as you understand that you can access more, and as soon as you allow yourself to look at it and to seriously look into it, it's going to start flowing more in your life. One last thing that is very important is to make sure that you have all the bank account that you need, or all these physical spaces to receive money. Make sure, if you want to extract, for example, a certain currency, make sure you're able to receive that currency. Make sure there is no physical blocks in your banking system and your the system that you've decided or that you've chosen, related to your country and where you're from, where you have your businesses and everything. Make sure everything works so there is no blocks. That's also very important. Like, let's say if today I want to receive a currency that I am not able to receive where I am right now, I need to make sure that I have the bank account in the right country, or that I have an alternative way to be able to receive that money. It has to be realistic. You have to create a pathway. You have to create space and a way, and to help that money to flow into you. This is no joke. This is real. You have to take action. So, as you may have understood, remaining vague about your dreams, your visions, and the financial realization of these dreams doesn't help you to make these dreams become true. So I invite you to really look into it and to take actions and to be open. Be open to receive. Make sure you are open to receive, actually. It's very important to be honest with yourself and to make sure this is what you want. Because if you start taking action towards it, it will come faster than you think. I'm so looking forward to read your comments and knowing like what you have decided to do, what are your dreams. And I wish you all the best. I wish your dream come true. And I wish you to be excited to really date your finances.